Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. If you're new here, hi and welcome. And thank you for joining us. Today I think I'm going to start working on this journal that I pieced together. And I'm probably going to use some of the freebies to decorate a few things. I don't know, but I've already got all of the stuff that I thought would go with this picked out, so we'll see what we got here. All right, so if you all remember, I did the apple journal, and it had, you know, some pages in these two kits. There was Cozy Autumn 2 and Cozy Autumn 3, and they had apples and apple pie and stuff like that in it. And then it had some mushrooms and pumpkins and things. So anything that wasn't apple, I pulled out and put it to the side. And these kits came from Wizards Art Designs. Both of them did. And so I decided that I was going to take those pieces that were just pumpkin-y and mushroomy and add some pages to them and just make a kit with it. And that's what I did. And so, you know, I've got those 5 or 6 pages, you know, and just make a small journal with that. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, with that, I'm probably going to pull some of these. These are thin colored paper. I mean, you can see it is real thin. So I said those would be good writing pages. So I may put one of each of these orange and or yellows in here. So we can add some more writing pages to it. And guess what? With that, we're adding more pages that I can put stuff on. No, I'm just picking. So this is going to be the middle, I think. Because I did pumpkin, mushroom, and then pumpkin, and then I did these pages, and then it's got the pumpkin there. So it's a fall theme with mushrooms. But I thought that this would be a pretty fabric to put on the front, and then this would be on the inside. Is what I'm thinking. I don't think I'm going to try to work on the cover today, but that's what I've got that I'm working with. And then, like I say, I've been putting all of my kits that I use. I've just been putting them in here to pack up in my fall stuff when I get done with fall. So next year I'll be like, oh, you know, if I want to reprint a kit, I will. Because most of mine are just pages. Doesn't have any ephemera to them. I'm having to make my own ephemera. But I don't know. I think maybe this might kind of go a little bit. So let's just get our pages fixed up. And then we'll go through ephemera that I've got pulled to see where it may go. So I think that's what I'm going to do first. Whoopsie. Because I know I'm going to need to make a few ephemera pieces for this. But I was thinking I could add those colored pages in. You know. I can add these pages in. And I think I'm going to pull a green. Just because, you know, the cover's green. Why not? Let's see. And we've got a red in there too, but that's going to be way too many pages, I think, to add in. Let's pull this one out and this one, and we'll have the darker, richer tones in there. How about that? I like that. Okie doke. Let's do that. Have the darker, richer tones in it. I like that. And that kind of goes with all of our stuff that we have pulled out. And I cut my fingernails, so I gotta, you know, I gotta dig and scratch to get everything picked up. Okay, so now that we know what we're going to be working on, how's everybody doing? Y'all hanging in there? It's going to be Tuesday's video. It's my Monday. Let me tell you, it was a Monday. Phew. I'm just not feeling well. Not sick, but just not 100% either, you know. I'm sick, but not sick. So I've got, you know, been fighting the allergy mess in my throat with the coughing going, my voice going in and out and sounding hoarse 1 minute, nasally the next, just, you know, whatever. But, like I said, I'm feeling okay. Just not 100, you know. And then, and I'm just going to be honest with you, some weeks at work is really an effort to just be like, what in the world? I mean, yeah, and that's with any job, you know, not just mine, but sometimes it is just like, really? This is the best we could do when I was off 2 days. Thanks so much, y'all. So, let's see. Let's put this here. Put this here. I think I'm going to put that red. Put the red there. And then, because see, when it lays, you see, because you have red here, and it draws your eye to the red that's behind it. Is my so-called thinking on that. Let's see. Don't really have. We'll put that one there. Just adding some fall color to it, that's all. Because it was really beigey neutral looking. And I think it's going to work. I think it might. And so then, because this is kind of green, let's put the green here for the green hue to it. And then we'll have that. It's just green colors. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages. It's a good size journal. Now we can take and put, you know, because all of them, what did I do with them? I get them for myself. Oh, I put them in the front. Crazy. We can take some of our, you know, printed leaf things and put in there, but I think I'm going to like this the way it is because it's not overly forest looking. It does have some scenes of and such in it, but I think this is going to be just fine. I think it's going to be pretty good. So what I'm thinking is I could take one of these brown pages out and put, you know, a leaf page in. This maybe is what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. I know I'm back and forth on this because I can't make my mind up. But I do think I would like to have some of those leaf papers in it. What did I do with them? Not those, these. And it's Fall Leaves. And it is from Darcy and Rose. Fall Leaves is the name of the kit. And I just think that's going to be pretty in here. I really do. Let's put that beside of the green one. So I'm going to have this green in there. I'm going to take this one. Well, that orange looks good with that, don't it? See what I'm saying? It's just hard to take it out. There's that one. Okay. We have this one with the music on it that's not got a lot of color on it. I have this one has lines on it. This one kind of goes with this with this. It adds color to it. And that one. So we can add 3 of those in. And I like this one here as well too. So there's a little bit of lighter tone, a little bit of darker tone. And that one's pretty. Just trying to add a little more color to it. That's all I'm trying to do. Alrighty. So I think that's going to be pretty. So let's get these folded up. And we'll disperse them in and throughout here. Alright. So now where this is, in between here, we can take this and put it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this. This is gonna be pretty. So then we have the color, and then we'll take and put that in there. Yep, I'm liking that a lot. Kit page. Like I said, this is pieces left over from 2 kits, and seeing then that's going to look good with that. Yep. And then this one is going to be right up against the green one. That's why I was looking for a piece that did have green on it to go with the green. I think that is going to be pretty. Okay. All right. But this is how the thought process works, y'all. I'll sit here, and like I say, these pages were leftover pieces from 2 different kits that I pulled the apple bits out of. So then you'll have a red, a brown, and then you'll have a printed page. And then you'll have a brown, a printed page. Have a color page, a brown page, and a printed page. And brown page. So then you have printed, color, brown. Give me that. And a printed and a brown page. So then I'm going to put this one here with the green bits on that. And I think that's going to be really pretty with that. Yes, I do. Love it so much. Okie doke. So what? Now we should have about 18 pages, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yep, okie doke. Love it. All right. So there is our journal pages. Heck yeah. We'll set them right here. You watch, I'll wind up getting this cover put together before too long. I'll have this cover put together at the end before this video ends, because I'm like, ooh, now I'm going to sew it in there. But that's our pages. Just going to keep them like that. Put it over here. That's some fussy cuts from Line Dot Arrow. She had several different items. So here is what I was thinking. And then these 2 pieces, you know, with the mushrooms and such on them, journal cards and or tucks. And then I need to make something with Mr. Froggy. So, and then these I thought we could use as belly bands. And let's see what Mr. Frog would look like on that. Oh, I think that would be cute. But see, you're not going to be able to tell that he's, you know, trying to jump in the water, is he? Well, we can put him off like this. Let's get our sample page. Where you at? And see what you look like. All right, sample page. Put it as a tuck spot and put a card underneath him. What are y'all thinking? I think that's gonna work. Shut up. I like that. think that's what I'm going to do, y'all. Is just glue that to that. And that's going to be, you know, my belly band. And then this is just going to be a standalone belly band by itself. Hush up, I think that's going to work. Because, see, it's got the little creek, you know, and then you got the frog like he's sitting here, you know, at the water. That's why I was like, I need to put it off to the side so you can tell that it's water. Yep, belly bands. Ugh. They need to be inked up and fixed. Okay. So we're getting all of our bits and pieces together for this one, y'all. Okay, sample page goes up. So then I have two, and these may go underneath there because I think it's going to be pretty. And they'll fit. Belly bands. Journal cards. Shut up, yes. Oh, yes, I like that because that's got that rose gold foil around it. And I think that's just pretty. And I think it'll be beautiful on that green because the green is in the middle, right? Come here, papers. Oh, yeah, it'll be pretty across from that green on the back of the middle page. Yes, 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 yes. All right, so I was thinking this is all, you know, scrapbook paper that I backed on time cards. So these are my pockets, or my tuck spots, and I'm going to put those with that. Yep, like it. And this, I was thinking on the yellow. That's why I put yellow in it. Have that with the yellow. Okay. And then this here. Flip over. So then we have these tucks and tags with dangles. Maybe on the back of the red. I don't know. And then I have these little tuck spots here with these tags with some green on them. I'm going to switch these tags out because I think that is going to go better in my other journal. I think so. Yeah, let's switch you out. Let's find something else. Because I got a journal that's got, you know, it's going to be called Colorful White Pumpkin, and it has the teals, you know, and all that stuff in it. So let's see, what kind of taggy bits do I have? Am I going to need to make some? Probably. Well, not really. We can use them. There you go. That color scheme will go with this journal. Sure enough will. Okie doke. Happy with that. And then, you know, we have the mushroom. And then we have the little pockets here. Now, I probably need to switch this pocket out. Because that's not going with our little theme that we got going on, is it? And probably all of them have a truck on them. Of course they do. Yep. I like that better. Okay. Because these colors, and I'll go with a different one. It has like formy themed stuff in it. Yes. So we'll do that. Whoops, there's two of them there. Ooh. All right, so we'll do this one and this one. Okay, and that will go with the color scheme of the Colorful White Pumpkin. Yes, ma'am. All right, so now remember we did these here. We dressed up the bags with, and then we did our, that was that tool that you make wreath with. They had at the Dollar Tree. So I said we can put that on, and that's going to be our, will be like a side tuck. And then I got the tag in the top of it. Yep, so I said that would be pretty in this journal. Okie doke. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I need at least one more for each side. Because you got 18 pages, you want something on every other page, so it's going to be 9, right? Right, supposedly. Supposedly is what I got thought up in my brain at the moment, you know what I mean? Or at least that's what I'm telling myself. Well, shucks, y'all. I'm looking for ones that I have decorated. All of these are kind of floral looking, I should say. The best ones I can come up with is these. That would go with this. Blessed and Thankful. Let's put that in there. Yep. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Blessed and Thankful. Okay. Yep. All right. So there's 2 more pockets for each side. Now let's get us something to go in them. That's going to be too wide. Daggone it. And that's going to be tight fitting. Are you wider than that one? Nope. Same size. Yep, that's too wide. Them would go really good in there, though. I may could trim this one down a wee bit. Let's do that. Because I think that's going to be pretty. Alright, so I'm going to trim this side down on this a smidget. I'm going to trim this side down a smidget. And let's see what we got here. If I glue it right at the edge, it will work. Okay. Alright, so them corners need to be rounded and fixed. Alright, so there's our other pockets and such. But yeah, I hope everybody is doing good. Y'all are hanging in there this week. Whoopsie. As you can tell, you know, I'm uncoordinated today. Which is, you know, not much different from any other day of the week. Just, you know, today's Tuesday and it's uncoordination day. No matter what I've done today, I've made a mess of it. So there was some fellas at the store at about closing time trying to change a tire. So they come in, the guy asked if I have a screwdriver. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, as you can tell, we're trying to change a tire. And I'm like, yeah, I saw that. You know, you need any help or anything? He's like, well, I think all I need is a screwdriver to get the hubcap off. I'm like, all right. So, you know, this is around, I don't know, right at 9:30 or so. And so, you know, about 9:45, I go out, and they're still out there. You know, the guy's sitting on the ground, and the other guy had left, which is an older fella. And so I'm assuming it was like, you know, either his dad or his wife's dad, something. He was a dad-like figure to this fella. And then, so I go out there, and I'm like, he told me, he said something about that the fella that had come in had gone to get a bigger screwdriver because they couldn't get the hubcap off. So I walk over and I look, and I was like, that's not a hubcap, that's your actual wheel. And he's like, so that doesn't come off there? I'm like, no, that's the actual wheel. So, you know, you need to finish taking the lug nuts off of it, and it'll come on off. I was like, but you might want to jack the van up a little bit more. You know, just because you're not going to be able to move the tire, because you could still see that, you know, you know, when you have a flat, it's sticking out, puckered up, I was like, you need to take the weight off of it so you can be able to pull it out. If you jack it up a little bit more and take the lug nuts off, you should be able to pull it on off there. He goes, okay. So that's what he did. And then he was sitting there, you know, and I was like, please take your leg out from underneath that, because that just, you know, you don't never put none of your body parts underneath the vehicle when it's up on a jack. And I was just freaking out. So, and I was like, you know, it doesn't matter. Anything could happen. You know what I mean? Just you pulling on it could cause that jack to flip over or whatever. Just, you know, move your leg out from underneath the jack. Thank you so much. So he does all that, you know, and we get the spire. Which now the spire, I've never seen one like this. It's one of these that is deflated. You have to pump it up, and when you put it on there, it pops to the rim to let you know that it is inflated. And so then I was like, well, you need to let the jack down, you know, and I was telling him how to, you know, put the bottom two on, put the top one on, and then do the cross ones, because it's 5. So you have a lug nut here, 2 down here, and 2 over here. So this fella, you could tell he'd never really, like, changed the tire. And I was like, you can't tighten them. You can't put one on and tighten it all up, because your wheel's going to wobble. So he's, you know, I was showing and explaining, you know, you do the triangle. You put the 2 on here, tighten it with your hand, put the 1 on up here, and then you just go in that triangle, and then you can put the side ones on. I said, then when you go to tighten them up after you put them on and it's tight, you can't turn it no more with your hands, then you hold the wheel and you start tightening them. So that's what he was doing. And then the fella come back and he's like, oh, you got that off of there? And I was like, yeah, it was not a it wasn't a hubcap. And that was just the wheel. So I'm looking to make sure all of our bits are done. So I think that's all we got to do, y'all. Everything's done. And I think that red's going to go pretty with that. I think this is actually going to be super pretty. And that's why I was wanting the yellow. Now we need to work on these pieces here. That's already done. So we need to work on these. And turn these into round the corners on them. I want journal cards and ink them up. So just a few little bits that we got to work on here. These are just going to be big old journal cards is what I want. That needs to be inked. Because apparently I was not paying attention when I glued that piece of paper on there. So anyways, you know, we got the tire on and all that, and I wound up realizing that it was, you know, already 10 minutes after 10. We close at 10, so, you know, and I was out here helping them with the tire. So I'll go in and I do my closing stuff, get in the car, and I'm on my way home. And then my car, it's got the handle to the door, you know, is curved out like this, and you have your signal, your turn signal here, and then the door goes back in like that. So I go, you know, of course I'm a smoker, so I light a cigarette on my way home from work, and I go to flip on my turn signal, and it's curved out right here. So I go and stick my hand in between there and flip the turn signal on and knock the fire out of my cigarette. So then I'm sitting at the stoplight. And my uncle, he has 3 sets of floor mats in this car, and you know, I hadn't took them out, so I'm sitting here, I'm pulling the floor mats out. The first 2 are rubber floor mats, and this fire, every time I get it out and think I'm going to shake it off, it falls onto the next one. I'm like, daggone it. So then finally I just say to heck with it, and I pick it up and burn my finger here and here to throw the flame out of the car. And then I get in the car and I'm like, goodness, so then my, my light done turned green. So then I'm sitting here at the light waiting to turn again. And then, so it's you can turn on red on that light, so to the right. So I went on ahead and went. And then I'm coming on down the road, we have a funeral parlor here, Moody's. So I get to that place, and there's this car coming underneath the light, which is right behind the police station, just flickering its lights. And in our area, neck of the woods, flicking of the lights is something's in the road or there's police up ahead. So, I'm like, yeah, I know there's police up ahead. This police station, Knucklehead. So, I get up to the light at Moody's and I see, on the buildings, I see blue lights, I'm like, oh, well, for they're probably, I was like, it is 10:30. They're probably getting close to switching out shifts. They change shifts. City cops at 11. County cops change shifts at 12. So it's like, that's what it is. They're up there making sure all their stuff works on their car, no big deal. Well, nope. Roll on past, the next block over is the post office on Main Street. And in the backyard or the back parking lot of the post office is just lit up with cops. It's like 5 or 6 cop cars there. All for one car. It's like every city cop that was on their way in to change shifts at 11 went over there to help assist in stopping this car. I was like, well, I guess they're getting their overtime. So then I was like, well, can I just get on home without anything else eventful happening? So that was my eventfulness from 9:30 to 10:30. Changing the tire, closing the store, on the ride home is just, then I get home, pull up, and there's a deer. Like, I pull in my yard, and there's a building like right here, so my car always park it out here so I can see around the building, because we have critters that roam our, like we have foxes, coyotes, deer, and stuff like that, and black bears. So I pull up so I can make sure there's nothing, around the corner of the building. Well, guess what? I pull up, and as soon as I stop and put the car in park, there's a deer goes poof and runs across the yard to the well house. And I forgot to tell my mama about that because I was busy telling her about all the other stuff. So yeah, all of that happened this evening on my way home from work, and I was like, I just want to get home and go in and be in the safeness of my house. There's just too much trouble going on out in the world today for me. So then I get home and I'm sitting here, talk to my daughter for a little bit. And then I asked her, I was like, are you mad at me? She's like, well, I was telling you something. And I was like, oh, well, I thought we was done talking about that. I went on talking about something else. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought we was done talking about that. She's like, no, you just went on to talking about something else. I wasn't done. I was like, my bad. And I was like, are you, and I was like, are you mad at me? Because she's just quiet, And usually when we're having a conversation, we actually have a conversation. We talk back and forth. And then she just says, no. But, I was trying to tell you about this, and, and you just said, basically I said what I had to say and just kept on carrying on the conversation with myself. Because I thought we were done talking about that. We were not. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, she wasn't done talking about what she wanted to be talking about. So. But I was like, yeah. It's just eventfulness, craziness going on. So, let's see. Yep, that goes with that. Let me put this on here. And I know this one doesn't have, the purple color or what have you in it, and I'm fine with that, but I think it's going to be pretty. Whoops, this one. I think it's going to be pretty in there. And the only reason I'm using the yellow on these is because the yellow is about out and I want to use it up. And it has yellow on here. I think it'll be fine, and it'll match with this, and it'll tie it all together. But yeah, I was like, I completely thought, you know, the conversation we were having about that subject was done with. I don't know, it's funny to have conversations with your grown adult kids. Because if you did your job right, they are going to say and do things that will irritate you. And the main reason is because you raised them to think for themselves and not have your opinions. To create and be their own person and have their own opinions. And sometimes that causes rifts in families. And then sometimes, yes, me and my youngest daughter, we do butt heads. But that's because she is like me, and, you know, she sees her way of seeing things, and I see my way of seeing things. Now, no, we do not fight and argue. And there are some times that I will be, you know, overbearing mother-ish and run my mouth, and then she'll say her piece, and then I'll walk off, and I'll be like, you know what, you're right. I'll come back, and I'll tell her, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. And we've done that a few times, and like I told her, I said, that shows me that even though, you know, at that point in time, I may have seemed or been irritated or whatever, but you know what, that shows me that you think for yourself. You know, you're not following what someone else is, you know, trying to make you think. And I'm so grateful for that. Now, all three of my kids, they are separated in age by a span of 3.5 years. All three of them think and view completely different. And that's just people. That's just the way people are. You know, they see things from their perspective, and I love that. I love that about my kids. All three of them see things from their perspective. Because, you know, I've got the one boy, and I've got the older girl and the youngest girl. You know, the oldest one is a girl, the boy's in the middle, and then the baby's the girl. And they all three have, you know, this perspective of, you know, one's being the oldest, one's being the only boy, and one's the baby. And I told them, I said, and that's why all three of y'all are special. There's one no specialer than the other. And then they'll say in private, it's okay, you can tell me I'm your favorite. And I'm like, no. You know, no one is more specialer than the other. You know, the oldest one, Jordan, you know, she's a hypochondriac or a worrywart, because that's what I was when I was carrying her. I worried and worried and worried, you know, that I was doing things right. And after I had her, if I was being a good mother, you know, if I was taking care of her right, and, you know, all of this and that, you know, because that's what you do as a young mother, you know, you just, especially if you're first. So she was trial and error. By the time we got to the third one, we had it kind of figured out, and then we separated. You know, we had it figured out that I was going to work and 12 hours a shift, come home, cook and clean, and give baths, and go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, get up and go to work at 6. And then if the babies woke up during the night, I got up with them too. So that's what we figured out. But I'm not going to get on that subject. But I am very thankful that all three of my kids think for themselves and have an opinion for themselves instead of following, you know, with whatever somebody else said. Whether it be different from mine or not. And that is just perfectly fine. So I think my kids, because I am, you know, quite spoken and opinionated about things, you know, that involve my kids, because that's the way you're supposed to be as a parent. You know, and up until they were old enough, you know, to make and decide and make decisions for themselves, yes, you did what I said or else. You know, because I was the parent, you know, and that was the way I was raised. And like I said, my kids, you know, adult children, you know, that still lived at home were, you know, and my rule was, if you were going to be out past 12 o'clock, you need to call and let me know where you're at. Because, you know, we live in a small town. Nothing's out after 12 o'clock but evilness and deers running across the road. So if I haven't heard from you, for you to tell me where you are and if you're okay, you know, I don't care if you stay out past that. I just want to know where you're at and if you're all right. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference. So then, you know, I'm not sitting here worrying, calling every hospital in the world, trying to find out, you know, if one of my kids is okay. So it's just a mutual, adult, respectful thing. It's not me trying to, you know, say what you can and can't do because you're 18 or whatever. You're 17, 18, you got your after nines and that, and you work a full-time job and blah, blah, blah. You need to let mama know what you're up to. You know, hey, I'm going to go eat at the Waffle House with the friends after work. Let me know so I won't be worrying to death. You know what I'm saying? So my son, he went out on a date with a lady, a young girl. They decide that they're going to go watch a movie. And I was like, you know, well, he didn't call me and tell me he was going to go watch a movie. Fell asleep on her couch. Actually, her parents woke him up, told him it was time for him to go home, 2 o'clock in the morning. So when he gets home, you know, I'm worried sick, just fit to be tied. He ain't answering the phone, you know, don't know what's going on, haven't heard, nothing. So I'm like, yep, you're grounded. And that's all I said, you're grounded. Though then when he started I almost cut that. So then when he's like, well, why? I said, okay, you want to have the conversation at 2 o'clock in the morning with the mad, worried mama? Here's what's going to be said. You didn't have enough respect and care and love for your family to let them know that you were okay, that you were going to go to this girl's house and watch a movie. I understand that you fell asleep, but that's okay. Because, see, I would have known that you would have been at her house and assumed and figured that you fell asleep. And when you woke up, you would have been coming on in home. And then, once you did wake up, you would have called and said, Mama, I'm okay. I fell asleep. I'm on my way home. And I would have been fine with that. But guess what? There was no phone call before. There was no phone call after. There was nothingness. Nothingness. So, therefore, you're grounded. And he was 18. Paying his own car payment, paying his own insurance and everything. And I didn't care. Like I said, that was the only rule. Call, let me know if you're not going to be home. You know, it wasn't, you can't do this and that and the other. It was just, you need to call me and let me know if you're not going to be home at this time. So I know what's going on. Know that you're okay. Because, you know, I'm commonsensical. I'm not like, you know, the timer. Oh, you're not home. I don't care what you're doing. Blah, blah, blah. You know, no. It was not like that with my kids. It was with my parents. My parents would lock the door, even though they knew you were in the driveway before your time to be home. They would lock the door, the screen door, and the back door. So therefore, by the time that you got your keys and unlocked everything and came through the wooden door into the kitchen, you were a minute late getting home, so you got whooped. That's what my parents did. I was like, no. Because that happened to me a couple of times. And then I was standing there unlocking the wood door one time, and my dad was on the other side locking it back. Every time I'd unlock it, he would lock it back until it clocked a minute after the time I was supposed to be home. Yeah, that's what I grew up with. Craziness. Well, Not craziness, but, I mean, you know, if you didn't want me to go, you should have told me not to went. You know what I'm saying? I would have stayed at home. Because that's, you know, we did what they said to do. We got the crap beat out of us if we didn't. Then we got the crap beat out of us, in whether we needed it or not most of the time. But, you know, you know, I laugh and joke about it now, you know, and looking back, yeah, we weren't, you know, like, sometimes we were beat and abused. I'm not even gonna lie. But sometimes, you know, we didn't get whoopings for things that we should have had. And it was one parent spiting the other one. And that caused a lot of problems in our family. But I do think most of the whoopings that I did get and groundings and such like that, because, I mean, I was the type of kid, whoop me. Don't run your mouth to me. Whoop me. Get it over with. I want to be done with it. Yeah, I could take the whooping. I didn't care. But don't sit and run your mouth to me. Talk down to me and treat me, you know, don't badmouth me in that. I can't deal with that. Words cut worse than a knife does. Because that's all you keep hearing over and over and over, you know. So, don't take my car from me because that's my freedom. Because I worked and paid for that. And I didn't, you know, until I had children old enough that were working and paying for their vehicles and their insurance, you know, didn't understand from my parents' side until I had to do that to my son. And he's like, and I was like, yeah, work and school, that's it. For 2 weeks, because you were 2 hours late. So I thought that was fair. He didn't, but I did. Just as a, let somebody know that you're okay, you know. Always let somebody know that you're all right. Especially when you're traveling and around this wooded area town. My goodness, y'all. I mean, we have deers just pop out of, you know, jump across the banks here at our house. You know, you just be pulling in the driveway and they'll jump out of the neighbor's yard off the bank over crop of your hood of your car. I think I pulled that a little bit too much. I may have to undo that side. That's okay. Not really. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't glue it to the front. Oh no, crazy train. What are you doing? Talking too much. That's what I'm doing. Talking too much. See, I told you I'd be getting this cover together. May not finish it tonight, but we're going to get started on it. I'll tell you what, I might just go on ahead after I get off here and upload this video talking about a bunch of nothingness. I might just go on ahead. Oh, goodness. And you know what? I ain't going to be able to straighten that out. Yes, I am, too. You are going to allow me, because I'll just peel you right back up. Yep. Peel this side up. Oh, it was done drying up anyways. It didn't matter. I was worried about it getting stuck down to the desk, because this is the second cover I've done it to. Got ahead of myself. Yit-yakking. That's what happens when you yit-yak and not pay attention. You know what I'm saying? But anyhows, got the spider web from that coming off on me. I got this ways right. I just need to get this ways right. Okay. But yeah, that's why I was like, you know, I never understood, you know, when I was, you know, getting things that I was buying and paying for myself, taken away from me for Groundation because, you know, I work and I pay for that. So why am I getting it took from me? As a show of you need to be respectful to the people that loves you enough to worry about you, you know. And I understand it now, you know, because like I say, I have grown adult children that live at home, or, you know, one of them still does, to where it's, you know, I'm not controlling what you do, because, you know, we got control of what we did. I just want to know that you're okay. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So for a little bit, my daughter, and I think she still does, because there was a time during COVID, and they worked at Wendy's, you know, and this is when, right when it was first started breaking out, and it's, you know, you was hearing all this and that and other, and, you know, nobody really knew the facts or stuff. So at that time, everybody was just scared, you know, and so they worked at Wendy's, and they had to go. They were being asked to go to Wilkesboro to work at a store up there, which now, mind you, the whole store was on sick leave because the whole store had been contracted the disease, the illness, the sickness, or whatever. So my oldest daughter at the time, she was the manager. My son he was going into management. And so they said that, you know, asked her and him if they would go help run that store. And I said, no, you will not. But I'm a manager. I don't care. You know, going up there and that place is eat up with it, you know, all the crazy talk. And I mean, I was the crazy mama during that time, you know, because that was, you know, it's some kids, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that's puckering. All right, so we got the front done. I know it looks super ugly, and it always looks ugly until you put it together, you know what I mean? So anyways, my daughter, after I did that, and then Jaden got grounded, put my name in her phone as warden. It's like, I am not the warden. She's like, yes, you are. I'm like, no, that's me being concerned for the health and welfare of my kids, and I'm sorry for that, but no, we're not doing craziness. Yeah, I'm putting corners on it. I'm gonna do gold on these. I think it'll be pretty. How long have we been on here? Oh, we got 8 minutes. Maybe if I don't mess this one up and put it on there right, you know, maybe, just maybe. If I put this one on right, maybe we can get this cover at least glued together tonight. May not get it completely done, but we'll get it glued. So we got all of our bits and pieces decorated and fixed up. Because, you know, and I think I'm going to continue to do what I have been doing with my scrapbooking paper. So I pulled out the fall and the Christmas, and I was just sitting here, you know, like after I get off this video, I'm going to pull out my Christmas colored, like red and green, thin scrapbooking paper, and back it on my time cards that either I got from the Dollar Tree or my work time cards, you know, and then on the backs of my glue pages, and make and just have them at the ready. And that's what I've been doing. I think I am going to continue to do that ahead of season, you know, like, and it's working out pretty good. So I don't have to sit and make a whole bunch of ephemera on camera, because, you know, I have things that will go with. But so far, it has been very, very appreciated that I did that. Now, some of my Christmas stuff, I need to get fussy cut. I need to start working on that this weekend. It's getting my Christmas stuff fussy cut. Because I've got a bunch of it fussy cut, and I was like, but I still want to decorate with some of those new things, you know what I mean? like the Christmas trees that I found and the different Santa Clauses that I found. So I'm trying to get, you know, it's just plain backgrounds. I'll show you. So I have like, you know, it's red and green. And then I have green here and that green. And then I have, you know, this polka dots and stuff like that. It's Christmas colors. But it's non-directional. You know, some of it I do have is directional, but most of it is not. It's just backgrounds. So, yeah. So then you can cut that in half, make them pockets, or you got, ooh, I stuck my hand right in that, or you got big tags. So that's what I've been working on when I get off of videos this week. So I did that for my fall stuff, and then I've got, you know, a bunch of fall things that I took and printed, like a tan color on the back of them that are the thicker scrapbooking stuff, scrapbooking papers that I could take and just cut up for tags and journal cards and stuff like that are, you know, like specialty types where it has like the foil on it and stuff like that. So I've got those over here in front of me that I haven't even pulled those out yet. Now some of those I've been saving to do with some of the, you know, like this next colorful white pumpkin journal. I'm going to pull some of those out for that. And then I've got, I think I want to do this one, that one, and I think there's one more that I had a cover and everything picked out for already. And I'm just going to make my fall journals up till October the 1st, and then I'm going to switch fully over to Christmas. That's why I took a break from the Mary Makes there for a little bit. Because fall is such a short time, you know. And even though, you know, October and November are fall seasons, you know, you as a crafter who sells and makes things, we're always trying to be, you know, we always have to be a season ahead. Because, you know, even though I'm still going to make things for the Christmas season in December, that's mostly going to be, you know, like things that I want to give to people or stuff. But for the most part, if you're a crafter, you are always working a season ahead of everybody. What, you know. Okay, I think that's going to be pretty. I'm going to snip that little bit off right there, because I'm putting book corners on it anyways. So I'm just going to snip that, because it's going to cause it to hinder it up and fold up in there and force the corner not to go on good. Oh, I think it's going to be so fun. That is pretty, ain't it? I love it. All right, so I'm going to put this together, and I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way around the edge, because I'm not going to put any lace on this one either. Haven't been really feeling the lace on the fall journals. I think I'm saving up all my lacy bits and lace energy for Christmas. You know, because Christmas is a little more blingy, decorative. Now, I do have some fall blings. And I didn't even get into those this season, but that's okay too. Okay, I'm going to line these up on the bottom here. Smush it down. These fabrics came from Hobby Lobby. Most of these did. There's a few came from Dollar Tree, like the back, like the inside pieces. Some of them came from Dollar Tree, but these both came from Hobby Lobby. It's part of their fall fabrics that they had for 40% off a few weeks ago. Oh, wow, that looks way off over here, don't it? What in the world happened there? Did I not fully wrap that? Or did I not fold the cover over good enough? Oh yeah, that covers more than 12 inches. That envelope is bigger. Well, that's going to cause us a problem, ain't it? Well, you know what? I may have to put some lace on this just to cover that up. Well, shoot. Now I've got Fabri-Tac all over me again. Ugh. I'm telling y'all, it's such a love-hate relationship with Fabri-Tac. It really is. I don't like my hands to be sticky, and I can't stand that when I touch something else that it gets all over it. So that's usually why most of the time my cover videos are just that. So I'll make sure that I have all the Fabri-Tac off of my fingers before I touch anything else. Oh, that's fine. It hangs over a little bit on this side too. I was trying to smush it and even that up. You know, the hangover on both sides. Because apparently that envelope was bigger than the other one. I didn't even measure the envelopes. It's Dollar Tree envelopes. So maybe I didn't fold the flap over on one as much as I did the other. Who knows? But see what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that smushed over a little bit so that it is got a little bit of that border all the way around on both sides. Okie dokie, we got our cover done. So then tomorrow we'll sew the signature in and get our pockets in there. Well, I need to put the hardware on this. That is so pretty. Thank y'all so much for listening to me babble about nonsense. Don't even know why I got started off on that tangent. I think it was just because I was telling you about the events of my evening. And being thankful that my children can think for themselves. I'm going to get off here. Y'all have a good day, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much.